Everybody, this is Jason and Callie at our 3 Belief Wellness Program, coming to you every week. Summer is in full swing. We've got our water. Callie, you've got your water.
Right.
Make sure you've got a glass of water to drink during this hour. I like to tell people when they're asking about, how do I drink as much water as you want me to drink? And I say, well, you know what? Take 2 swallows like this. 1, 2. You see, it's not huge gulping, just regular drinks of water. You take 2 of those every 15 minutes throughout the day. You will drink more than your required amount of water for the day, which is take your body weight, cut it in half. So if, let's say, you weigh 150 pounds, cut that in half. You need to drink 75 ounces of water a day. We're going to talk about water today. In fact, so I'm going to put my water right, I'm going to put it right here. This is nice and close. I can still grab it because we're going to do a lot of talking today, fast moving. And should we get started?
Yes, let's get started.
Okay. So welcome to the 3 Believe Wellness Program. We come to you every week and we talk about what our program's about, why it's there, why we're here every single week. This web class is for you if you feel weaker than you used to in years past. If you want to get your strength back because you don't like feeling weaker and you're willing to actually do something about it. I'm a food scientist. I specialize in chronic disease and metabolic syndrome. That's where we get our education and information that you get from. I read clinical studies instead of reading the newspaper and magazines. And what we do is we formulate special meals and programs for doctors to give to their diabetic, obesity, heart disease, chronic issue patients, because these doctors don't want to follow the traditional surgeries and medication protocols. They want a no medication alternative. So they turn to companies like us. We've been doing this for 11 years. And you may be asking, why do we start with doctors? Because that's where people are going that are not well. The CDC tells us that 79% of Americans are overweight, 37% have high cholesterol, 46% have high blood pressure, 15% are diabetic, and there's another 1.5 million people walking around that are diabetic and they don't even know it because they haven't gone to their doctor. 25 to 32% have fatty liver disease, which is the first step of metabolic syndrome. And over 75% of people that are over 65 have a chronic disease. So if you look down your street, you look across your neighborhood, you'll find that our friends, our neighbors, our families are the ones that are suffering from these issues. And they're completely, absolutely reversible. And the good news is they're completely avoidable. You don't have to have them. So our system, our program that we really want to drum into your life is balancing your food. It's really not about eating a special berry or eating a special grain or eating special fruit. It's really about balancing your macros, your fat, your protein, and your carbohydrates. We call it the FPC ratio. The nation, people that have those stats that I just told you about, have this kind of ratio. 34% of their calories are coming from fat. But the unhealthy fats, 16% are coming from proteins and 51% of their calories are coming from carbohydrates. This is why we have all of these symptoms. Clinical studies have absolutely, undeniably proven this. Not 1, not 2. How about 20,000 and growing clinical studies have proven this? That's pretty well established. So when you think about food, I don't want you to think that there's good food and bad food. I want you to think of it, is this food killing me or is it healing me? Because that's actually what is happening. All you have to do to balance your FPC ratio is just drop it from, for example, 51% of your calories coming from carbohydrates, drop it down to 12 to 22%. Increase your proteins up a little bit and increase your fats drastically, but make sure they're the healthy fats. We like to do the omega fats. The challenge with this is you're eating the same amount of food. It's really not counting your calories. It's not calories in and calories out. That's not the secret. The secret is just changing your ratios, dropping your carbs by 400%. And you'll find that you will have greater levels of health. It's more important than exercise. It's more important than supplements, as powerful as they are. It is the secret of, if you balance your FPC, you will change your life. Okay. It worked for me. It's worked for thousands of people that I've coached. This was me 11 years ago, 280 pounds, a not so healthy person. At the time, I had 10 plus chronic diseases, high blood pressure, cholesterol, pre-diabetic, things like that. After 12 weeks of balancing my macros, my FPC, down to the graph that I showed you, I had none of them. I dropped 80 pounds or almost 80 pounds and lost all of my chronic issues. Today, we're going to talk about the 12 signs that you're just not drinking enough agua. So, a lot of people don't realize that more than half of the world's population is actually dehydrated. They're drinking too little. There's a lot of signs that are coming from dehydration. In fact, a study just done showed that over 90% of headaches that Americans have are caused by two things: lack of hydration and lack of water retentive minerals. What are they? It's real easy to remember: calcium, magnesium, potassium, and sodium. I always drink sodium with my water. In fact, I put it right in my water, not enough where I taste it, but it's really hard for your tissues to be hydrated if you don't have water retentive minerals to hold on to that water molecule, because our tissue doesn't hold on to water very well. But if we have a good grip on our minerals, which is easy, then our minerals will take care of that job and hydrate our bodies for us. The study that I was telling you about actually showed that once people just took approximately 150 milligrams of sodium and 12 ounces of water, their headaches went completely away without any other medications. So, good advice. Don't overwork your liver and your kidneys by taking that Tylenol and pain medications. At the end of this, I'm going to show you a quick, easy test to find out if you're dehydrated, like these ice cubes on a frying pan, if you're losing your hydration or you're too underwater. So when you think about water, I want you to think about some facts. That if you don't drink enough water every single day, it will disappear. You can lose as much as 40% of your water in one day, because you're breathing, you're sweating, you're urinating, you're going to the bathroom. Every time you do that stuff, you're losing your hydration. So if you're not replenishing it, it's easy to lose. So what is our water? Too little water leads to our blood vessels narrowing. It can cause blood clots. It'll raise your blood pressure, and that increases your risk of heart attack and stroke. Your blood makes up 8% of your hydration in your body, which is really surprising to a lot of people. Most people think, where's your water at? Well, it's in my blood. Only 8% of the water you have is blood. But if you have too little blood, or too little water, your blood gets sluggish, fibrin kicks in, that slows the blood down. And these are things that we just don't want to have. 26% of your water is in intercellular space. So we have intercellular and extracellular water. So when we look at your water, your body tissue, muscles and cells and fats and things like that, there's water that's around your cells. That's called extracellular water. And there's water that's inside the cell. That's called intercellular water. So the water that's inside your cells makes up a quarter of your water if you're properly hydrated. And if it's at that level, everything's great. But if you don't, you have increased acid levels. And we know that's bad for cancer. We know that gout is never painful or never an enjoyable thing. It causes pain. Gout is caused because you're not hydrated enough. You get kidney stones, you get brittle bones, and your immune system actually weakens. And so these are all things that we want to avoid, right? Now, 66% of our water is actually the extracellular, right? And when we have that too low, that is what leads to higher cholesterol. It plays a part also with a high carbohydrate diet and higher insulin levels, but it will slow down and make your metabolism slower. That's why you feel sluggish and slower. And ladies, and us guys too, it actually increases your aging process. You look older because you are older, because your body is not getting enough water. Okay. So the first signs of how you're dehydrated, it's in your mouth. So when you feel this little dryness in your mouth, that seems pretty obvious that you're not getting enough water, but the ramifications may not be as obvious, right? When you feel that sticky, you're opening and closing your mouth, that sticky feeling, that is your body telling you that I'm actually dehydrated. I'm past the point of needing water. The first clue that you need water is actually a hunger pain. It's not the need of food. It is the need of water. You can prove that by just drinking 8 to 12 ounces of water. When you feel that first tinge of hunger and the hunger goes away, it's not because your stomach's full. It's because your water was trying to tell you, or your body telling you, I needed more water. Okay. Now, I don't want you to be confused that drinking sugary drinks is not the answer. That just compounds the problem. It'll make your mouth wet, but and it'll lubricate your mouth. It'll help with the mucus in your mouth and your throat, but that's not going to hydrate you. So don't turn to the sugary drinks. You want to keep on keeping your mouth moist throughout the day. And if you follow that rule that I started out with, is drinking 2 swallows every 15 minutes. You don't have to gulp your water. You don't have to guzzle it to get it in before the day's over. The next sign is that your skin is going to be dry, right? Especially in the summer months. So your body's largest organ, or we have our brain and our heart and our liver, our largest organ is our skin. And so it needs to stay hydrated. Taking a lot of showers, well, that's not going to work. You got to feed it from within. You got to hydrate that epidermis from the inside out. Dry skin is one of the earliest signs of full-on, I've been hydrated for a long period of time, and that will speed up that aging process. You want to get rid of it, then that's an easy, quick solution. If you're not sweating enough, especially during the summer months, that's another sign that you're not getting enough hydration. Your body starts increasing blemishes, and it's because sweating is a process of actually pulling those or pushing those dirts and oils away from your skin. If you're dehydrated, you're not going to have that access, and your oil will be accumulating throughout the day. But if you don't have enough water, then it just sits there, and then you're going to get pimples and blackheads and blemishes, right? So if you want to stop all that, drink your water, right? If you're thirsty every day, well, let's assume that you're not drinking tons of alcohol the night before, but I already went over why our mouth is dry, but we're going beyond that dry feeling in your mouth. Anyone that's ever had a hangover before will tell you that when they wake up, they are just super thirsty. They can't seem to get enough water. They reach for water over and over again, and that's because alcohol will dehydrate your body. That's why I tell my patients that if they choose to drink, and you need to drink water throughout the drinking process. I mean, if you're going out to drink, whether it's wine or it's beer or it's liquor, for every 2 drinks, you have to drink the same amount of water. So every other drink or every 2 drinks, then the 3rd drink, you got to drink some water. If you don't, 1, you're aging your body, you're putting too much stress on your liver and your kidneys, and the next morning, you're going to feel it. Not good advice. So your body's just signaling, telling you, yes, give me more water after you've had a heavier night of drinking, and until it reaches its proper baseline of required water. Just listen to your body. It's telling you signals. It's giving you signs of what it needs and why, what you did and the impact that it's having on your life. The next one, Dry eyes. This is a really strong one for me. I get dry eyes and I know that I'm having some dehydration issues. So hopefully by now you get the idea that drinking water has its effects on more than just your mouth and your throat, right? It's affecting your eyes. You're going to be more bloodshot eyes. You're going to itch. They're going to burn. Without water, enough water in your body, the tear ducts actually dry up and your eyes are not getting enough moisture. That's not good for prolonged eye care, but also it's especially bad if you wear contacts, right? That makes the life of your contact drastically reduce. Another sign, if you have joint pain, not just in your back, but in your shoulder and your knees, all over your body, your fingers, this is an absolute necessity to keep your bones from grinding against each other. That moisture, studies are starting to show that those that have compressed discs are people that also have a long history of not being properly hydrated. It's actually squeezing out that moisture in that disc, among some other things. It plays a part in removing that cushion that you have between your joints. So this is an absolute necessity if you want to have healthy and pain-free joints. Your cartilage and your spinal discs are made up of more than 80% water. Very few elements in your entire body are that moist. And so what does that tell you? If our creator made our joints that moist, that tells us that we got to have water throughout the rest of the body to be able to keep those elements properly hydrated. So just by keeping your body hydrated, you'll ensure that your joints can absorb the shocks of sudden movements. That's like stepping from one top step down to the next step. There is a tremendous amount of force. To us, it seems like it's nothing, but there are hundreds of pounds actually hitting your knee and your ankle and your hip. And if you don't have the moisture there, well, you're going to pay for it after thousands of steps, right? And if you're actually out there doing more impact like jumping or running, then now you're talking about thousands of pounds of pressure. The next one is your muscle mass decreases. Now, our muscle is actually 70 to 80% hydration, right? And if you don't have your muscles properly hydrated, then that means that your muscles, one, will not be able to grow to be stronger, and they are weaker in the process. So that increases your chances of accidents and pulled muscles and sprains. So you always want to drink water before an exercise, during an exercise if it's lasting more than 20 minutes, and you want to drink afterwards. I take that jug that I showed you at the beginning, which is 75 ounces. I take that to the gym with me, and I'll finish off 3/4 or all of it, depending on the workout, in about an hour. And so that keeps me properly hydrated. It keeps you from developing over levels or higher levels of inflammation and soreness the next day. All of this is related to your exercise level and depleted amounts of water. If you don't get enough water, you stay sick longer. Now, of course, we all know that if you're taking the CMR shakes and the oil on a daily basis, you never get sick, right? Well, should we say rare? Okay. All right. I'll go that far. I rarely get sick. Callie rarely gets sick. Our customers tell us that they rarely get sick when they're on the program. But if you're also dehydrated, you're going to stay sick even longer because it weakens our immune system. Drinking water allows your body to flush out toxins continuously. That's done through your breath. It's done through your urine, through your feces. All of this is hampered when you don't have enough water. Things just slow down. Your organs work better to filter out these bad waste. Just like the hydration system in your car, the radiator in your car, you can have all the oil, the gas, your tires, your transmission has all been checked out. You dry up that radiator, guess what? You just seized your engine, the machine that keeps that vehicle going. Your body is no different. There's a reason why you and I can go for weeks and weeks without food. In fact, I have just finished a 23-day fast. It was a water fast. After about 3 to 5 days, your body is starting to shut down and literally dying. I drink 1.5 to 2 gallons of water every day. I increased my water during this food fast. I was working on some other projects that I'll tell you about later. But we can go for a long time without food, but not very long without water. All right. So if you need to fuel, when you think about fueling your machine, I want you to think and include water in that process, not just something with calories. If it doesn't have it, it's not going to work properly. It's not going to give you the results that you want. So the negatives is that if you want to or a positive, if you want a healthy life, you've got to make water part of it. And sadly, before I became a food scientist, before I started this program 10 years ago, I got all my water from pop and from juice. And though there is water there, it's not the same thing. You need to drink. When we say that you have to drink half your body weight in water a day, we mean water. We don't mean things that have water in it. Okay. And if you don't have that, it'll lead to a whole new set of problems. It'll lead to problems with your blood. It'll and how your organs are responding. And you don't want those things like higher cholesterol. It'll actually increase your glucose levels, which is really, really important if you're a diabetic type 1 or type 2. If you don't get enough water, you're going to feel tired and fatigued. You're going to feel lethargic, right? And when your body is dehydrated, it actually has to go and borrow water from your blood, right? So your blood's never going to dry up and just be powder. And so what happens is that your blood will borrow moisture from the tissue if there's too little water. And then your brain has to go and borrow water from your blood levels. And that will make you tired and lethargic because your blood is slowed down and it's not delivering other nutrients to your cells, which is the powerhouse to keep your body moving, right? It's just like a traffic jam. Nothing moves, nothing's happening, okay? This process, because our water has oxygen along with it, H2O, right? It leads to a reduction of oxygen. And when you have more oxygen in your muscles, then they don't get tired as fast. That's why some pre-workout elements like something to actually increase the oxygen in your blood work so well, because your muscles now have all this oxygen when you're doing push-ups or leg press, and it doesn't seem like it gets tired like it used to because it's being pumped full of oxygen. So you want that throughout the day when you're not at the gym, then drink more water. But don't forget, you got to have some of that sodium in there too, all right? I recommend doing that through our hydrate pills, our capsules. I put a little in my water and I take 2 to 3 hydrate capsules every day. When I'm talking about lethargic and fatigue, I'm also including sleepiness, actually wanting to take a nap. So if you're feeling that way towards the end of the day, let's just try a little test. I want you to double the amount of water that you're taking, and I bet you $1 that'll actually reduce. Your stamina means that you're starting to experience that slowdown in the afternoon, right? If you want it to go away, then drink more water, right? If you're experiencing hunger pains that just come on all of a sudden, just rapidly, that's another sign of dehydration. Now, like I mentioned earlier, when you're dehydrated, your body's first signal that's saying, hey, I need more water, is in the form of food. It feels like a hunger pain because we don't have what's called a water pain, right? It's actually, we've associated it to hunger. And that also why sometimes throughout the day and at night, you may wake up craving a snack. It feels like you're hungry. I promise you that instead of going down to the fridge and eating that bowl of ice cream or dinner's leftovers, drink some water. Drink 12 ounces of water, go back to bed, and it will go away, and you'll actually sleep better. Eating food creates more work for your body. Just you got to remember, it takes energy and it takes work for your body to digest that food. If you're eating late at night or in the middle of the night, your body has to stop repairing the cells that it needs to throughout from the work that you did earlier that day, and then start focusing on breaking down the food, the meal that you just ate. That becomes priority. So you're actually slowing down your regenerative process. That's one of the reasons why we sleep, is to regenerate and rebuild ourselves for the next day. And by eating late or eating at the nighttime, getting up in the middle of the night, you're stopping that repairing process. Okay, so don't do it. Now, food is good. We always talk about food and how much to eat it, but it doesn't need quite as much as you may think. So you don't need to get up in the middle of the night. If you're having any digestive problems, that's actually a signal, a sign that you're dehydrated, right? Now, before I talked about mucus in your mouth and your throat, right? That comes from when your mouth is properly hydrated. That's also where bacteria is formed. If you don't have enough hydration, that bacteria dies, right? And keeping yourself hydrated allows those membranes to operate properly and that bacteria to survive, to actually thrive. And as we've gone over before, that bacteria feeds and strengthens your immune system, right? This entirely affects your entire digestive system, how you're digesting everything. We've talked about that every single chronic disease that we have, heart disease, high blood pressure, starts in our gut, starts in our digestive system, right? Other problems can just exacerbate it. But without proper hydration, the amount of strength of that mucus, or should I say, those little cocktails of bacteria that's in the mucus, is going to affect the stomach and how effective it is. Now, that's going to allow stomach acid to significantly change. You want to have that pH level right in the perfect level. There's no wonder that over half of the world is dehydrated, and antacids, over-the-counter heartburn and indigestion medications, are some of our most popular items that are being purchased. It's not because they have serious problems, it's because they're dehydrated and they have too little digestive enzymes and probiotics. All of that could be eliminated. And there's negative side effects from taking that acid and heartburn medication. Okay. Another one. If you're experiencing premature aging. Now, what do you call premature aging? Now, Callie, my wife, she's a beautiful young woman. I promise you that when she's 56 years old and she sees a wrinkle on her face, she's going to say it's premature. It's before its time, right? So premature aging is essentially almost every wrinkle that you're seeing on a 40-year-old person. We're not supposed to really have wrinkles at that age. We do have them. They're very popular, but that is an example of premature. We're not supposed to have wrinkles at that age if we are properly feeding ourselves. And one of the first steps is hydration, right? So those smile wrinkles around our face, right? That's a sign that you're dehydrated. If you don't let that go for very long, you can reclaim that by being properly hydrated. Now, I told you at the beginning I'd give you some signs, some tests to see if you're dehydrated, and you've watched this far. So let's go through some of those. So let's check that right now. I want you to take out your hand, all right? And I want you not to actually have your palm up. I want you to rotate your palm down, and I want you to reach with the other hand and grab a little, like you're pinching your skin right up on the top of your hand, and then let go. If it doesn't snap back flat again instantly, then you're dehydrated, right? Proper hydration will allow that to snap back down. Let me do Callie here. All right, here we go. Whoa, very quick. I did it quick. A good way to do that is if you go to a baby, they're very, very hydrated. They come out of the womb at about 80% hydration. We as adults can't stay that hydrated. Proper hydration, we should be about 60%, but watch how fast their skin snaps back. So that's a good quick test, right, to determine. So just do that throughout the day. You'll see that can change throughout the day, and just do that. Make a habit of checking yourself, right? So remember, if it stays there for a little while, and I'm talking a little while, I mean, if it stays there for even half a second, you're dehydrated. If it stays there for longer, oh boy, please go drink that water, right? Please guzzle it. Get it down, get hydrated properly. So let's kind of do the recap, the 10 signs of light levels of dehydration, not heavy levels. First one is thirst, right? A dry mouth. You're feeling a little bit tired, right? You're being a little bit irritable. And if your urine is dark, right? If your urine has color, I don't want any color in your urine, right? That's ideal. If your skin feels dry, if you're feeling dizzy when you stand up quickly, right? If you notice that you have a little bit bad breath, headaches, we've gone over 90% of headaches just because you're dehydrated and under-mineralized. And if you're starting to have muscle cramps, right? Now here's 10 signs of severe dehydration. This is where damage can start to be happening. You're excessively thirsty. You keep drinking, and it's not, you just can't get enough. Your stomach is actually full of water, but you want to drink more, right? If you lose consciousness, that's a sign. That's some severe. You better get some water in, go to the emergency room, and they may have to put an IV in you. If you're breathing faster, if you have kind of a hollow stare, like you're staring off into space, if you're low blood pressure, if your skin is extremely dry, we're starting to scratch or itch and even crack and bleed. High levels of dizziness. If you're not sweating at all during a hot day, like right now, our home is air conditioned, but I am sweating. I'm hydrated. If your urine is extremely dark and it has bad odor to it, and you're not going to the bathroom very often. All right. And so these are the quick steps. Write those down, memorize them, do the hand check, and don't be underhydrated. Don't be like me 10 years ago and I only got my water from soda. Callie.
Which is not good.
It's not good. Don't do that.
Which I'll be going into a little bit about that today.
All right.
So all those who don't know me, here's a little bit about me. So I have two girls, 9 and 11. They're very active. We constantly are going to basketball tournaments and games. Obviously, I'm married to Jason. We have a very active lifestyle. And look you're carrying your jug of water in that picture.
There's my water.
Yep, those jugs of water go everywhere with us. I've been coaching through 3 Believe for about a year and a half, and I've coached over several hundred people with great success, and I love doing it. With my own results, this happened within 8 weeks. And I've lost 22 inches, dropped 8% body fat, gained muscle and hydration. So when we talk about hydration gains, that's where Jason talked a little bit about how it should be in the 60%. That's ideal. We have a fancy scale that measures that hydration, which is great. The Yumni that you guys currently have at home measures it too. So you just want to keep track of that number, make sure it's keep going up and get it in the high 50s. For sure. So I've kept off this weight, or not weight, because I only dropped 4 pounds of body weight, but I dropped significantly in body fat, which my body transformed, and I've kept it off for over 2 years. I feel great, and it's amazing stuff. The CMR and all the nutrition works, definitely. So Jason definitely did a good job on the benefit or the signs, right? That we don't have enough water in our system. I'm just barely touching on the benefits, the there's listed 5 here: weight loss, digestion, which he touched a little bit on, brain, skin also, and then the headache cure and more. So I'm glad that he went over all of that. A lot of people, we do coach people. We stress about water constantly. And, if you do drink the 3 shakes a day, that does not count as your water.
Nope.
I just want to make sure that is a meal replacement, and that does not count towards your water intake.
Now, people may ask, why doesn't it count? Because your body actually needs water to digest and break down those meals. The water that you drink extra to the meal is for the function of everything else your body has to do.
Right. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to actually go over how to implement water into your lives, like different types of tricks and things that you can do. But I wanted to let you know, according to this study, the Trent Hammond, which is the Simple Dollar, he goes out and basically measures different types of money saving opportunities, right? So choosing to drink water instead of soda.
So pop costs on average over $300 a year?
You could save over $300 a year.
People spend that much?
Right.
I bet I spent that much before.
Right.
Before I started this.
So this is, I don't know what year the study was done, but that's quite a bit of savings.
That's less than $1 a day. You could do that.
Right.
Easily spend that much.
Right. Exactly. So ways to get more water throughout your day. Now, there's a lot of water apps.
Oh, that's a good idea.
You can keep track of your phone. A lot of people set alarms. Every hour, they set an alarm to drink, or every 15 minutes to do 2 gulps of water, or 1 hour every 8 ounces or 16 ounces. So this is a great way to track your water intake on a daily basis. Another way is a reminder bottle. Right? So you can actually create your own with some plastic bottles or a jug of water bottle, or they do have purchased ones. They're a little bit pricey. These ones are 32 ounces, and these are great ways to, check the time, set your alarm, and then drink the amount of time or the amount of water throughout the day.
Now, people sometimes will say, well, I just forget. I said, well, what about the 15-minute rule? I forgot. I didn't set a timer. So one reminder or help remind you is if let's say you work in an office and you work at your desk and you work in a conference room and you work at another station, you go through those 3 places throughout your day. You just move and kind of hover back and forth. If that's the case, whether it be 3 places, 2 places, or 5 places, then get a jug of water and put it at each one of those places.
That's a great idea.
Then you don't have to be thinking when you're at station number 2, right? Oh, I need to drink my water, but I can't. I don't have time to walk back to my desk. I know it's only 20 feet. Get your jug. You just won't do it. But if it's sitting right there ready for you, then do that. So think about putting basically watering holes wherever you're at. If you're not working outside the home and you're doing it at your house, do the same thing. Put one in the kitchen, put one in the bathroom, put one in the bedroom, put one in the living room. Put it wherever you spend most of your time.
Right. And even in the car.
Yep.
So this is the jug of water that we carry throughout the day. We fill it up. I thought it's 74 or 75 ounces.
Mm-hmm.
74?
74.
74 ounces. Now, 74 ounces is more than my body weight, but I drink probably a full one and some. Right? So, but you can.
But that's because you exercise. And so if you're not exercising, you take your body weight, cut it in half. That's how much you have to drink. But if you're exercising, you need to drink that plus more. Now, why is that? Because you lose actually most of your water throughout your day through breathing. And when you're exercising, what are you doing more? Breathing. That means that there's a reason why when you fog a mirror or you draw funny faces on the window and you go, right, on the glass, Where do you think that moisture comes from? You just got rid of a drink of water.
Right.
So drink more if you're exercising.
So this is a great, fill it up and take it everywhere with you. I mean, after a while, it will go everywhere. Yep. I mean, it's a constant habit. It's a habit. Yep. It's a great way. So, a lot of people don't like ice cold water. So choose something that's benefit to you. I personally like room temperature.
Yep.
I like to keep it room temperature, not ice, but some people like the iced water. So what they recommend is if you carry the jug of water or any type of water bottle, fill it up halfway, freeze it overnight, and fill it throughout the day. So then you're getting your cold water and your water throughout the day.
Good idea.
That's one way to do that. So then I'm going to go into, we don't like the taste of water. I'm bored of drinking water, or I don't like water, right? So they want to flavor it. But we have to be careful when we flavor our water, especially when you're doing it every day and all of your water, right? So you have to be very conscious and very careful on how you do it. And I've listed some popular brands and circled what you need to look for. So what I circled was acylfame
potassium.
Okay. It says it's an artificial sweetener.
What actually fools your pancreas into thinking that there's sugar, and it makes it secrete insulin. That's terrible. You don't want insulin without any glucose. Right. That's actually the formula for creating a type 2 diabetic.
Right. And here, this one's becoming more popular. I've seen this brand more and more, but it's cane sugar, straight out sugar.
And maltodextrin.
And the stevia, which is a little bit better, but I mean, got to be careful on those. Here's another popular one, Crystal Light, the sugar-free Crystal Light, also has the acylfame potassium. So and maltodextrin.
Yeah.
And maltodextrin. So
now the funny thing is you need to know is that in the lab, maltodextrin does not have does not have a sugar quality. It doesn't have any calories, but in the body, it raises your glucose levels. That's why a diabetic cannot take maltodextrin, because it raises their glucose levels. So it's true it doesn't have any calories, but it will raise your glucose levels, so don't take it.
Right. So I would just resort to lemons and limes for flavoring your water. Our sweetener, I do it often. I put lemon in my water, and I put a little bit of our sweetener in it. It tastes great. If you want to switch it up, that's a great way to get your vitamins and minerals, and then your water on top of it.
Yeah.
And you get a little bit of sweetener if you have the 3 Believe sweetener. So this is what you should do instead of all of those other artificial sweeteners that act as sugar. You don't want that. You don't want that in your daily life. So eating your vegetables can help. So, I mean, it's not recommended that you replace your water with eating vegetables, but the vegetables that you choose with what is listed here has some type of water. Now, you want to eat them raw, because cooked, it will deplenish the water.
Yeah.
So eat the raw vegetables, eat plenty of them. We recommend eating a lot of vegetables on the program.
So you don't recommend to cook our watermelon? You shouldn't cook it.
Our watermelon. Now, watermelon has a lot of water. However, what else does it have?
It has some sugars. To just eat your watermelon after your meal, not before.
Right. With your protein meal.
Yeah.
So, yes, this is a great way to get some little extra water into your daily routine.
Good, because I love watermelon.
So, sneaking in 8 ounces, brushing your teeth in the morning. Like what Jason said, put a water bottle in the bathroom. So after you brush your teeth, drink 8 ounces. Taking your vitamins and minerals, where you're taking the hydrate and potassium and magnesium and things like that for your electrolytes, drink 16 ounces of water. So, there's ways that you can sneak it in throughout your day and, have it a beneficial to add into your water
Now
intake.
remember, where do we lose most of our water? Through breathing. When do we breathe the most in our 24-hour day? When we're not also drinking, when we're sleeping. You'll lose on average about 5 ounces of water every hour while you're sleeping. So I see too many people, they get up and they go about their day, then they have their breakfast, or they go up and they get their coffee. Okay, coffee is a diuretic, so it's going to dehydrate you even more. The first thing you get up to do should be drink 8 to 12 ounces of water. Immediately, you're already dehydrated first thing in the morning. You're 40 ounces down of water from all night breathing. And that's not counting sweating. So you're probably doing a little bit of sweating too, depending on the dream that you had, right? If you're being chased by a bear. So drink that water, then go to the bathroom, then have your coffee if you drink coffee, then have your breakfast, right? But don't wait to start getting your water in later on. Do it very, very, like the first 60 seconds of your morning.
Right. And with coffee, I do like to drink a coffee, about 8 ounces every morning. But I replenish my water intake because I know coffee is a diuretic. So any type of diuretic, you have to replenish it with the exact same amount. Or no, they actually recommend double twice. So if I have an 8-ounce coffee in the morning, I have to double it with 16 ounces of water to keep my water hydration levels up. So another way, is peer accountability. So play a water game. I actually have my esthetician. I see her every month. And so she said this, she plays a game with her husband because she doesn't like water. She's like, I am not the water person. And she actually would flavor with all the other flavorings. And then her dietitian's like, you can't do that anymore. So she played an accountability game with her husband. They set a limit on how much water, and then she would get, I don't know, a shopping spree, something that was enticing and motivating, right? Or you can do it with your sister, or you can do it with your siblings. There's actually Facebook groups out there. If you love to, be part of Facebook and engaging with those type of groups, they actually have, drink your water app or the groups, so there's a lot of different things that you can to increase your hydration, to make you feel young and look younger, and all around the benefits of drinking water. And don't take that for granted, because Jason already went through the science of how water can detriment your body and your bones and your muscle and your skin. I mean, it goes on and on, right? So there's a lot of different ways to get your water in every day, and hope that you take on some of the things that we suggested. And
we haven't talked about it, but if you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to lose fat, and you're dehydrated, that's near impossible. How do you think that those lipids, that stored fat, is traveling down to your liver to be broken down for energy? How do you think that's happened? It's happened through your blood. If your blood is dehydrated, it moves slowly, and things don't happen as fast if they happen at all. So if you want to lose extra weight and you're in a right program, you got to couple it with proper hydration.
Yes, definitely. So now we have an exciting announcement to make. We've talked about ashwagandha in our previous class. It was actually the very first class of July.
Love the ashwagandha.
We love the ashwagandha. We take it every day. Extra every day. Over 1,800 milligrams, 18,000 milligrams of ashwagandha is in one CMR bag. And so if you equate that to, here's a shown graph, or not graph, but
popular brand on the internet. They sell that same amount for $350. So their cost for 18,000 milligrams of ashwagandha is $350. That's outrageous.
That is expensive.
We're just giving you the ashwagandha for free inside CMR. So everyone, send me a check for $350. That'd be awesome.
Now we've we talked about the benefits of ashwagandha, which we'll just touch over with anxiety, sleep, stress, brain cognitive thinking. What else? Stamina,
athletic performance. Yeah.
Performance with your muscles.
It actually doesn't give you energy, but it increases your body's efficiency of creating it. So it's great for athletes. It helps us through our workouts. It lowers your levels of cortisol. And so it actually not only lowering your stress, but actually increases your ability to lose weight indirectly, because cortisol is a fat storing hormone. So there's so many benefits.
There's so many benefits, definitely. So now we're introducing, it's like a week away.
Yep.
That this will be coming to 3 Believe as a standard product. You can purchase it online starting in August. However, with you attending the class today, we have some special pricing. So
whoa.
I know, right? So retail, what we're going to actually list it on the website is $21.97. But today, the special offer for attending the web class is $16.50. So all you have to do is call into our support or email support@3believe.com.
Because you can't get that price on the website.
No, you cannot.
It's only for you special people that attend the weekly
webinar. So the special offer is going to go away soon. So take advantage of it.
When does it end? The end of the month.
The end of the month.
Yeah.
So get in your orders. We will be shipping them out first thing in August, and cool new label design and everything, which is awesome. And we're excited to share that with all of you. Do you have any other questions?
Nope. Just drink your water.
Yes. Drink your water. And we will see you next week.
All right. Take care.